The day is here, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dan C. Bearded. I host this show called The Doctor's Orders on the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel. And today's a special one. We got a special person next to me over here. This is Nick, aka Dr. Nick. This is not rhetorical. I would like you to answer. Nick, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm pegged at like 27 right now. Like way past. This knob goes way past 11. This is like Spinal Tap times a million today. I'm pumped. I mean, this is talk about a day that like I've been waiting to come for a long time. Like if you guys think you've been waiting for merch, man, have I been waiting for merch. Like this is just talk about an all-out brain numbing process. Of course, the way we do things here, right? Yeah, pumped. So excited.
Oh, yeah. And we have a lot to talk about today. First and foremost, if anybody wants to hop over there, the apparel, the merch is live. We're going to give you all the details in the world. Nick has some stories behind the scenes, what happened also, so we can announce it at the start. So anybody watches and doesn't make it till the end because of work or life or kids or whatever. Next week, we are actually going to have Nocturnal. Is it Nocturnal Print?
Yep. Nocturnal
Print will be in studio on the stream, and we'll be talking about the process of making apparel and owning a company and answering all of your guys' questions, and then talking specifically what it's like to work on this apparel and talk about the future and the relationship and how it's just 5 minutes down the road and all amazing stuff. So next week, in-studio guest, which we've had a couple times, and we love that. So pumped. Stories behind about some trials and tribulations and challenges and getting through adversity and getting these products out today. Man, it is amazing. But everybody in the chat and Nick as well, hope everybody had a good weekend. Drop a comment in the chat. How was your weekend? Were there any things that you were proud of, that you were happy about? Nick, what about you? Did you guys have a pretty good weekend other than a lot of work?
My weekend was spent underneath these lights. With a camera doing lots of photos for merch photos, because it's I would have to venture to say that we are probably abnormal in the product release category, just like we're a little unique in everything else we do. I think a lot of people have an easy button that they can click with new merch offerings, with some of the apps and integrations that are out there for websites and some of the direct ship merchandise suppliers that are out there. And of course, in true Dr. Nick's fashion, if we're going to release a product, we want them all in our hands. We want to touch them. We want to do our own photos. We want to be able to speak to the quality, the fabrics between the whole selection process and all that, but it comes all the way down to photos. So our shipping and receiving room is now completely loaded up with cardboard boxes filled with merch, ready to ship. And that means it's me with some white backdrops and a bunch of lights and just listening to music, taking photos. And I think a lot of it was in the studio this weekend. And then we went out and we were just finding some both customers and friends. And Pat showed up in force, met us on a busy day. He met us up and we were able to get him on, some great photos with some shirts and some hats and just some cool size reference kind of photos, which, by the way, those size references are coming onto the website. I need to edit a couple of photos and get the sizes of the person that's in the photos to kind of help justify fit and those things. But dude, Perfect. That was it. So in short, yes, my weekend was a blast because I got to be just knee deep in merch, which I've been waiting to do for years.
Right. And this kind of stream is tough for me because it's literally like we're excited dogs that are chasing our tail. And Theo Vaughn has a line in there. He asked him to describe someone. He said he's like a hyper Rottweiler that's deaf when you let him out of the car. And I'm like, then you think about it. I'm like, man, I can resonate with that.
I can totally relate to that.
Hyper Rottweiler that's deaf when you let him out of the car. I'm like, yeah, that's this stream. Why? Because there are so many stories that I want Nick to tell, that I want Nick to share. And it's like, how do we start? How do we lay out a timeline to get this all going? There's so many things I want to show. And we're going to do that. And I think today's stream, you guys, is going to be a flip-flop of our normal. Normally, we kind of start the stream and let you guys kind of guide the conversation, even naturally. We don't even plan that. It just kind of happens, and we end up talking for like a half an hour. I want to knock out all of our information first, and then with the time that we have left, let you guys kind of guide it with questions and comments and thoughts. So if you have some of those things, if you can hold on until kind of the opening for that information, we will get to those, I promise. First, let's go ahead and break down exactly what this merch is in case anybody's watching now or in the future and we want to catch them early. And then after that, there's a bunch of stories that I want to kind of lead Nick into for him to be able to talk about. The cool thing is Nick and I, we're as close as it gets, great friends, everything, but also like kind of a sounding board for a lot of these situations and scenarios that come up. So I've been in his ear on every step of this, and it helps to be able to deliver the information when I'm actually involved. So very cool. So,
yeah, it's been huge. It's been such a collaborative process with everybody. I mean, it's like literally to the point of, I don't know anyone else out there that's dropping a merch line and starts off with different models of the same hat just to see what people want, and going around and putting them on different people's heads and checking fits, shipping them out, having people send back in photos. So the market research was strong on this one for sure. But yeah, absolutely.
No doubt. So I want to show you guys everything that's available from the website. Then Nick and I will talk about what we have on, what we have near us, our thoughts on it, and then I'm going to have some different stories about this process for Nick to share for you guys. So sit back, relax, enjoy. They are live on the website. It is linked in the chat. If you guys want to click that, it goes directly to the apparel. And what you are going to see once you get there is going to be, and if you guys could, I haven't even said this yet, please consider hitting that thumbs up on the stream. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to make somebody's day a little bit brighter. All right, so here's the apparel tab. One thing that I think is really cool, you guys, is if you hover your mouse over it, you see the price, but you also see different angles of the apparel. So if you see the hat here, you're like, oh, that's really cool. And then you turn it, you're like, dang, it's got the Dr. Nick stitching on the side, Amazing Man stuff. Like, yes, it does. And so you can see all these things here. So let's start off just kind of one by one, and I'll kind of feed it into Nick on different ones. The first one is a t-shirt. It comes in sizes small to XX extra large, and it has a skull front and a logo back. And then look at this. Who do we have here, Nick?
That'd be Pat. Pat Johnson.
Pat in the chat.
Large and in charge. There he is. And he's in the chat here checking it out, which is awesome. Thanks for joining, Pat. And thanks again for meeting up on this is like the busiest guy I know. He has, I don't even know. I think he has 75 kids total. I'm kidding. He has 9. He has 9 kids from what I understand. He's just a busy dude, owns a landscaping company. And it was a Saturday, Sunday. I forget. It was such a whirlwind of a weekend, but he met up and made time for us, which was awesome. And he's wearing a large there. He's a little taller than I am. He's probably a little over 6 foot. I think I actually have his dimensions here in an Instagram chat that I can kind of check to give you guys some reference here. So he's 6 foot 175. And so he's a muscular guy. That's a large. The larges really do fit true to size. So if people are in there wondering, do I need a medium? Do I need a large? I'm a weird middle ground too. Sometimes I'm a medium, sometimes I'm a large, and I've worn both of these. And so the medium, I get tight shoulders and I get snug biceps, but I still have loose torso. I still have some breathing room, which is nice. I right now today under this hoodie, I'm wearing a large, just because I like a little bit of extra movement. But what's nice about these larges is they don't fit like a tent, right? You're not going to get like that big square look. They fit in the shoulders, but they're not going to give you that brewery dad look.
Yeah,
where it's going to hug the wrong spots.
Yes, and I love this picture of Pat here because, and some of you guys may notice Pat, we have I think one of our best reels on Instagram is Pat applying the beard balm stick. So if you guys are like, oh yeah, I remember those tattoos and that stud looking man. Yeah, that's Pat, and he's doing this. I want to point this out too. I immediately, when I got this shirt, I had to ask Nick what this shirt was, because I've never had a shirt fit like this. You guys, I'm working really hard. 5 to 6 days a week, I'm going to the gym for 2 hours. And I've had great progress, but it doesn't show on a day-to-day basis because of my clothing. And it's exactly what Nick was saying. I'll have some clothing that kind of fits like up here, but then my arms are loose, and then also it's boxy around my waist. Yeah. So I'll take a picture and I'm like, man, I look chubbier in that picture than I really am. Like, it just doesn't frame my body. I put this on. Hey, too much information, but I only had my boxers and my shirt on. I ran out to the living room where Sam and Violet were, and I was like, babe, you got to see how this fits. Like, my traps are showing. It's contoured to my shoulders. It's like framing my body. It
I
doesn't
got
have
lats.
this big, yeah, it doesn't have this big parachute on my side. I was freaking out. And then I immediately text Nick and I said, have you washed this yet? Does it shrink? Because I had to know about how many shirts I needed to buy of this. And Pat's shirt shows a great example of how it contours to his frame, how it contours to his body. You can see the chest muscles, the shoulder muscles. This is not me fanboying out over Pat, but it shows you how it fits to the body. And I've never had a shirt like this. Genuinely never had a shirt. And I did ask you that question in private, so I'll ask you in public. You have washed these. Does the shirt shrink?
So no, what I've noticed is no, like, you know, when you get one of those concert tees or like a Gildan or something and you wash it and it does shrink, right? And it gets tight kind of everywhere. What I've noticed with this one is that no, because of the poly cotton blend, it doesn't actually shrink. I think the fibers do constrict a little bit right out of the wash when you put it on. It feels like, I'm not going to say it even feels smaller. It literally feels just like a little like it's the things that have kind of stretched out in the printing process and everything else have kind of just gone back to where they're supposed to be. But then it kind of just goes back. It's weird. Like, so no, the one that I'm wearing today, I've washed twice and it fits me just like after wearing it for a few hours in the morning. It fits just like it did when I got it.
Awesome. Awesome. And then we have another view here. Nick, who do we have in this picture?
So that's Bailey. He's wearing an extra large. So Bailey's a little taller. He's like 6'1", 6'2". And he's taller, right? He's got a really long torso. So that's why he had to go the XL. But what was nice, even with him, you can still see like in the shoulders, the arms, it's not super baggy on his torso, although he usually does wear shirts a little baggier than I do. The XL fit him really, really well for the length. And
awesome.
I was like, well, do you want a large? He's like, no, I'm not taking this off. It's mine now.
that is awesome. So yeah, these are available, guys. You saw the sizes there. It's an 80-20 blend, a cotton poly blend, true to fit of size. And I would say it's more true. This is like, it's like revolutionary true for me and how this bad boy fits, man. I can't, I can't get enough of it, man.
Work it.
I literally love this shirt. I love the hoodie and everything we're talking about, but I was like, I look too good to cover all this up. And so I'm rocking it. And I'll show you guys the back real quick if I can. I did put on shorts, Jill. Thank you very much. Not pants though.
Yeah, and see, look at that. It's just right through the armpits too. Like you get a little bit of a hug there, but it's nothing crazy.
No, not at all. It's really, really, really nice. So
that's what 6 months and 18 different samples of shirts will get you is the perfect shirt. Right. Dan's wearing an XL.
I am wearing an XL. Yep, I'm about 6'3", about 230, 231 today because I had a couple cookies, but 231 today. But yeah, I'm an XL, and it is perfect. That was why I wanted to make sure that it doesn't like super shrink because it fits me really. I've never wore a 2XL, so I don't even know if I could like logically do that for
mentally
myself.
Justify it.
Yeah, but it's awesome. It really is an awesome shirt, you guys. And again, you got the skull on the front, and then you've got the logo going across the shoulder blade. And there was another point that me and Nick talked about before the stream. The stitching on the shoulders is really nice because it goes just like behind my traps and just behind my shoulders. My stitching is right back here. So my shoulder gets to curve, and if I have stitching that's on top of the shoulder, it looks like it's a tent. It looks like it like pitches up and out. And this one wraps around my shoulders. I'm not kidding. I've never had a shirt like this. I told Sam I will get rid of my entire drawer of shirts if I can have all of these. Like I love it. I absolutely love it.
You know what's weird about that? And it's like everyone's like, okay, guys, it's a shirt. I get it. But no, it actually is more exciting than that. There's like, you know what's weird is I noticed in the stitching in the shoulder, when you have it off, if you look at the stitching that goes around the back of the neck, that stitching actually goes down into the shoulder. So you don't get the stitching, like you don't have that backing all the way around the collar and then having the shoulder attached. It's like the back panel and the collar is one piece, which makes it fit differently.
And there's, with all of the merch, with all of the upper wear, there is the printed tags. Nick, do you have anything next to you where you're able to show the printed tag?
I
If
don't.
not,
Well, no,
okay.
but if you pull up the site,
okay.
If you go to, for example, the long
here it is. Got it.
T-shirt.
Yeah, you can see
the long sleeve T-shirt has a close up of the printed tag, and you can see it in there too. Yeah,
Yep.
You can see it there. But those printed tags were money. Like that. I mean, it on top of changing the way you can productize things with your own branding on it. I mean, it's I think it adds like a level of quality. It adds a nice little touch. And it was definitely worth the extra spend, I think, because it just adds another just a cool custom element to it. And you don't have an itchy tag.
For sure.
Everything is like that, by the way, too. Hoodies, long sleeve shirts, T-shirts, everything has tags removed, printed tags.
So nice. And there's no itch. It's wonderful. Now, Donald says, do these get bacon neck for those of us with thick necks?
Oh, you don't want bacon neck. And no, I don't think you'll get bacon neck with this because of the way the collar is stitched. When you get it, you'll see what I mean. It's the front of it doesn't go down into the material. So if you have a neck where you're going to be pulling it, it's going to stretch the collar with the shirt. It's not going to do that thing where it stretches the shirt and then your collar's hanging out like a separate choker.
I've never heard that term, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, that's sad bacon neck. You don't want that.
Oh, no. And then Evan asked a question, and then Jill followed up. He said, I'm a bit more of a round shape. Is it tighter in the midsection? And Jill said, no, it's not fitted T or tapered. And I would agree with Jill. It definitely is not like cut in. It isn't like tighter. But I will say it is better fitting for me than my normal T-shirts that I wear, where it's like real boxy around and I don't know how to properly describe that, but it does. It's not tighter, but it's not as like parachute baggy as my other shirts. And maybe it's because I don't buy shirts like other than every 5 years because I hate spending money. So maybe that has to do with it, but it doesn't go in. They're not. No. There's no like fittedness to them.
Well, and you know what I'd say to that? And I actually didn't notice until I was taking photos of them and I had to lay everything out flat and like really pull on stitches and like pull on the armpits and pull on the shoulders to get it to lay right for a photo is, although it doesn't taper, it's hard to tell in the photo, but the armpit width from side to side is more narrow than the shoulder width side to side. So although it doesn't like taper to give you that, opposite of an hourglass look, what it does do is it allows you to have the shoulder space without really, giving you a bunch of extra material, but without hugging your midsection.
Yep.
Because I don't like that either. I'm in good shape, but like if I get the wrong shirt on and it hugs just one thing wrong, all of a sudden it makes it look like I got rolls. And I'm like, whoa, no, that's an ab, I swear.
Right. So
that camera's lying.
Yep. And Tyler, this is a great question. And Jill touched on it earlier. He said, maybe it's been talked about, but is this merch limited or staying? Merch is going to be a permanent lineup for Dr. Nick's. There may be some limited things and some artistic things, but these main ones, the key ones, as long as the feedback is great and as long as everything is going well, the plan is to keep them in stock and continued. Nick, correct me if I'm off there.
No, you're dead on. The black with the standard skull front logo back, these are going to be permanent staples. And the only thing that would get switched would be if anything needed to get switched because of just feedback from you guys, if you wanted something different, but it's, no, these are always going to be here. We're probably going to introduce some flipped colors, some things like that, some whites with some blacks, and then we're going to work into some other stuff as well. And then special edition stuff, especially with the hats. I'm already working on our next, 3 different variations of hats, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And MC, one of the ladies representing down in Texas, she wants to know, are there any women's sizes?
They're coming. So we ordered some samples, this exact same shirt, but in the women's sizing that has the taper, the kind of baby doll tee kind of a look. Right. Jill's wearing one today. She loves it. And that's going to be on our probably our next run. It's coming up really soon. And actually, Jill wants to do some really cool stuff. So, she wants to do the girls' t-shirts. She wants to do girls' hoodies, and then, perhaps even some fun stuff like in the summer, like be able to get bikinis with skulls on them or, underwear and stuff. So there's going to be some other fun stuff coming up because Jill wants to get her fingers in the merch with me here.
For sure. That's awesome. Little tank top.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Little spaghetti strap ones and stuff like that for the summer. So
Awesome.
we'll have those coming. But as far as that goes, the small men's shirt, and actually I think it was the medium long sleeve shirt. Jill was liking that a lot, or maybe that was a small, actually, the small men's long sleeve t-shirt. Oh yeah, and there she is. I need booty shorts and tanks. So you heard it first. It's
From her.
Jill's gonna make it happen. We'll make sure Dan doesn't model a pair of those for us, though.
Yeah, I will spare you guys that. I won't sing or model.
Doctor's orders calendar edition.
I'll take May. Yeah, I got May. It's warm enough.
Hey, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, true. That will go viral. I can tell you that, man. I can tell you that.
With
You guys
those
will learn
calves and those
yeah.
booty
Woo,
shorts, though?
baby. Today was quad. It was calves and quad day, so they're feeling it. Ellie says, yes, Daisy Dukes. So the demand is there. The demand is there.
It's coming. It's coming.
All
Those
right.
2 skulls right on the butt cheeks. That'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh. All right, moving on. So next one is exactly what Nick has rocking today. And this is the zip up hoodie, skull front logo back. You can see here, got that back on the logo. Oh, and then here's exactly what Nick was talking about. You can see that printed tag. It's not stitched in there. There's no itchiness. It is a printed tag. And I love that inside of the filigree. Did I say it right, Nick?
The filigree. Yes.
Almost. Filigree. Inside
Almost
of the
got
filigree has the size in there, which is really, really cool. Oh, good. Who is this stud?
Oh.
Goodness. Look at that beard.
It was funny too, as we went to that spot to get like 10 or we got like, I don't even know, 20 different photos there. And they were all, it's Jill and I, right? So it's like, we're kind of just going back and forth. And we get like 20 really good shots, we think. And then I'm walking back to the car to take off that hoodie and put on the pullover. And I'm just unzipping it, walking back to the car. And she's like snapping photos. And that was the winner. Like,
with the
one when you're
behind
changing.
it. Oh, yeah, that is awesome. And then this one looking tough here, the cool background, the shadow, the beard out of it. Is that zipped all the way up?
That's zipped. I'd say probably zipped to about where I have it here.
Okay. You could rock out in Sons of Anarchy. You and Opie, like that would be, I could see it.
Dude, if any casting agents are out there,
Yeah, right.
I'm available.
All right, so guys, this one is going for $55, and it is small. Same thing up to XXX large.
Yep.
Nick, feedback on this one. What is it? What are your thoughts on it? The pros, the highlights. Break it down for everybody.
Yeah, so this was there's 2 hoodies, right? There's the pullover and there's the zip up. And the zip up is the heavier weight of the 2. So this is the kind of hoodie where, like, for example, this was the first day I had to test it because we had some weather today. So it's rainy outside. It's, 40 something degrees when I got out of the house and it's drizzling, right? So I throw the hood up and I'm loading up stuff into the car, getting the kid going off to February vacation, Boys and Girls Club camp. And it's the perfect thickness where 40s and 50s, you're comfortable, and it's thick enough where you don't get wet if you get some water on the outside. And so I didn't feel like any water coming through the sleeves or on my back or under the hood. The hood's really thick. And I think it's just one of those perfect, zip up hoodies, especially the thick ones. It's kind of one of those cool in between things, right? It can be a jacket. It can be a mid layer.
Right.
It can just be thrown on a Sunday to go to the store, whatever. And this one's just the right thickness. That's the reason we went with it, is it's just, you want it for the cooler days, cool summer nights, cool spring day kind of a thing. Drizzly outside, you're going to be okay. It's not weather resistant in any way, of course, but it is thick enough cotton where you're not really going to notice it, which is awesome. So really what you end up with just something that's real versatile. Like, I've been wearing this thing nonstop. I throw it on every morning and it just kind of goes on whatever else I'm wearing. And what I will say about this one is, because it is a heavier weight, you're going to want to, in more times than not, wear this on top of something else, because you're going to be taking it on and off, right?
Right.
You get in somewhere, you're going to pull it off. You get out somewhere, you're going to want to put it on. And so I wanted them to fit baggy, right? I didn't want one of those things where I order a large and all of a sudden I can't get it on comfortably over a t-shirt without doing this constantly and trying to work your shoulder out. And so this one fits on the larger side of things. So if you're a large, you're still going to be a large, but it's going to fit you a little baggy. I'll show you.
Yeah, and you savages out there, you better wear something under these. Ain't nobody wants to see all that taco meat inside of there.
So it's like, You got some extra room, right? But nothing too bad.
That's awesome.
You know, I love the way these fit. They're great. They're nice and baggy. They're comfy. They're roomy. They're heavy. They're warm. They're softer than hell. You got the nice t-shirt material inside of the hood. So it's a dual lined hood where you don't have the fuzzy stuff getting on your head, which for me is really important. Because if I go like this and I go like this, and then I'm going back inside somewhere, certain hoodies, I'll have a bunch of little black things all over my head because of the fuzzy stuffs.
They're so cheap. They just feel cheap too.
Yeah, you can't have the fuzzies on your head. It's a bad look. So yeah, this thing's perfect though, man. I love these hoodies. Awesome. And you know, I think for the quality you're getting, especially something made by independent trading company, it's a real high-end brand. You look at some of the other manufacturers that use their stuff, those hoodies go for $80+ Yep. And so keeping it under 60 was really important just to make it good quality, but still affordable.
Yeah, and these things get expensive outside of here. And Nick was bouncing prices and stuff, and it's like stuff is just like if you want a hat, for example, this is just what it costs. I mean, it's just simply what it costs. If you want a good hoodie, that's a great price for a hoodie. And it was for me, I'd go shopping with Sam, and it'd be kind of a wake up call for me. And I'm like, no way. And then you realize like this is just what it's like, especially for quality. And this is a very fair price compared to everything else that I've seen.
Especially with the amount of screen printing that's on it. You know, Brandon can speak to that, but I mean, each one of these sleeves has to go on the arm of that screen printer separately. So he's got to stretch that over the arm, screen print it, heat it, cure it, then bring it back and do the other sleeve, then do the tag, then do the front, then do the back. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of screen printing on that.
And the arms, like those skulls are so dang cool.
Dude, they're so super cool. They're super cool.
And Judd, yeah, the topic of the hour is us in booty shorts and then a crop top from MC. She said, I need a crop top.
You know, it's about to get real, and we're gonna get demonetized on our next stream.
right. It's gonna get a little bit steamy. A little steamy.
YouTube's gonna be like, listen, we gotta throw a mature rating on this stream here pretty soon.
Right. All right, and then the next one I have behind me here, guys, and this is the pullover hoodie, so no zipper on this one. This one is 45, and same thing here. You got that 80-20 cotton poly blend. Got the printed tag, and then they got that nice artistic shot there. Got the skulls running down the side, and there's a couple of things I want to point out about the hoodie. First, and we mentioned this last week, but first, you got the metal eyelets that are right here. If you guys have ever had like cheap hoodies, you know that it's just usually like an opening and that just kind of has all the frizz and stuff in there.
Just asking for it.
Yeah, exactly. The ends of, let me see, I get this focused on this little thing here. The ends of the strings are also stitched here, so that's a nice little touch.
And I like on the pullover, they're flat strings too. Those are always cool.
Yep. Always better. And then the biggest thing, I don't even know what this is called. And when I put it on, I told this to Nick. It was the first thing that I said. The bottom of the hoodie, there's like a layer. So the hoodie ends, and then there's another probably 1.5 inches of material that's different than the rest of the material, but it's strong. It's like ribbed and stretchy. And I love this. Like, this is like a feature that I don't get in my clothing. And I'm like, what is this magic?
Yeah, I love that. And having the elastic hem across the entire bottom is key, because a lot of times you'll get the little bit of elastic or you'll get it behind the hem, and having the hem stop and then have the elastic band in the bottom and having the material match between the two was hard to find. You know,
it's awesome.
Yeah, and so this is a midweight, and so a couple of things to note about this is that there you go, Garrett, waistband,
yeah. I don't wear hoodies often, so this is like foreign
a whole new world
for me, and I put it on. I'm like, oh, this thing is nice.
You've been neglected, sir. I can tell that just it's just you've been abused in the hoodie department, and we're gonna fix it. Man, what is this magic?
I did say that. I was like, what? I asked Sam, I was like, what is this thing?
What is this sorcery?
Yeah.
No, but this one's a midweight, so it's gonna fit a little. I'm not gonna say it's like an athletic fit or it fits snug, nothing like that at all. It's still gonna be nice and loose. It's just not gonna be as loose as the thick zip up. you'll be able to wear this under a jacket, for example. Like if you're wearing it by itself, you're wearing it over a shirt, and you need an extra layer, this is totally okay as a mid layer because it's a mid weight to begin with. It's not going to sweat you out of your jacket. And it's also not going to add too much bulk underneath another layer if you need it. But again, in the springtime, during the day when it's cool, summertime at night when it's chilly, this thing's going to be perfect on top of a t-shirt. It's not going to be too heavy. I even said it in the description. I was like, slap some number 21 in your beard and just get ready to smell like a bonfire, because that's what this thing's gonna make you want to do.
Oh yeah. And Brennan,
super comfy.
Not me anymore. I got one. I'm covered, man. But no, I don't wear them before. And yes, I went to the gym this morning. We have a huge blizzard coming in. I had shorts on. I don't care. I rock it. Born here.
Born here.
Yep.
You see me. I'm like so obviously a transplant in New England. I walk out, it's like 70 outside. I got on a hoodie. I got on like short.
No. Yeah, I had shorts to the gym this morning. So
like outside.
All right, so that covers the. Oh no. We got the long sleeve. Go ahead, Nick. What you got here?
The long sleeve tee. So this one's a unique one. This one's actually really cool. And I almost wish my photo wasn't so clean, because that Be Amazing looks superimposed, even though it's not. But this thing's awesome. It's it's your standard long sleeve t-shirt, except we went a little crazier with it, with the material. This one's 100% cotton. This shirt's made in the United States. They're ridiculously soft. I would almost equate this, and I don't want to say jersey because you'll start thinking short sleeve, like soccer jersey, like the Euro soccer jersey. They're full length sleeves. But on the end of like jersey shirts, how you don't have a really big wristband, like there's no real big elastic, like the sleeves just kind of end in the rolled cotton.
Yep.
That's how these end. There is very little to no elastic in the sleeve of these. It goes down to a clean hem onto the shirt, onto the sleeve. And what I think is kind of neat about this one, it fits everywhere like a normal shirt would, except in the shoulders and in the top of your bicep. It's a little on the athletic side. So just like we were talking about, it almost gives you like it's like a it's like a performance enhancing shirt. I mean, it makes you look pretty good.
Love that.
Definitely. I think it's a nice touch, because it doesn't give you that baggy long sleeve t-shirt look, which we probably will still be doing those. I have my eye on some organic cotton ones that are really baggy, and I probably still am going to do those. And this will kind of be like our athletic fit, sort of a long t-shirt, but it's on the thinner side. It's on the more sculpted side in the shoulders and on your lats and on the back of and on the top of your back. So if you're standing there wearing just this, you'll actually see some definition across your lats, and across your traps and your back, and you will see some definition through the shirt, which is nice in a long sleeve.
Okay, cool. And hey, Nick, question here. Patrick said, "Hey, still want to try that number 21. Hey, if someone's buying merch, let's say they put something in the cart, Dr. Nick's traditionally has up here says free shipping at $50. If they have merch in their cart and they reach the $50 and they want to get something like an oil, and add it on, does the merch count towards their free shipping?"
Oh, you're damn right it does.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right. And just make it easier to get that free shipping for everybody.
Exactly. So if you are trying some of these, some merch, and then you're like, oh, let me throw some that might be the order where you want to try it. So just thought I would throw that out there. It is the banner up at the top. $50 free shipping, $5 flat rate in the U.S., even if you don't hit that 50. And keep in mind, 15 international flat rate shipping as well.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
We're going to be in just full transparency as usual. We got to see how international goes with some of the merch bags. And it might be that, we have to limit international flat rate up to a pound and up to a certain size for 15. Right. And then we'll give you options past that. But what we're doing, like we usually do, is that, wait until, something makes us change it. Right. So if we start getting rejections back as we're trying to create labels for people and those sorts of things, we'll make it right. We'll cover that. And then you'll just see some changes coming to make sure we cover our butts going forward a little bit.
Awesome. Welcome, Fitzroy. Welcome in.
All about those shipping carriers, keeping them happy.
Right. Cool. All right. So we got the upperwear covered. Now let's go ahead and start off. This, you guys, was a process getting the right hats. A process. Now I have approximately 130 hats. I went through them 6 times probably for Nick and looked at every model. We had to look at like the percentage of the blends. We had to literally look at the stitching down the front, how it sit on the side. You guys, the extensive process to get the hats that we thought everyone would want the most is it's a process, but I couldn't be happier with the results.
Oh yeah.
Thoughts there?
Well, dude, it always sucks when you put that much effort into something and you end up not getting what you want. But when you do get what you want, it feels so justified and worth it. And that's the situation we're in now. You'll see on the site, we have 4 hats, right? We have 2 trucker hats. We have 2 flat rim, straight rim hats. And I'll explain at a high level really quick, just to kind of give you the reasoning as to why you see that. And then we'll go into each one.
Perfect.
So, let's start with the trucker hats. And so, well, actually, sorry, let me go across all of them like I said I was gonna. So, we basically landed on Yupong Classics, and the model that everyone, whether or not you know it, the model that everyone wants and the model that everyone here kind of talked about is the Yupong 6089. And what that is a 6-panel hat, meaning that it has a stitch down the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels. And that's what Dan's wearing right now is the 6-panel 6089 green bill underneath Yupong, and looking fantastic while he does it. And so that's the hat, right? That's the one. This is the one that's going to live on and be the one that's on the site forever, is this hat, because everyone that's tried it agrees it's their favorite hat. And then I ask people, hey, go find me your favorite Yupong hat, send me a photo of it and tell me which model it is. And everyone that came back was this hat. Now you'll see another straight rim hat on there, also a Yupong, but a different model number. It's a 6007. And I have that here in my hand. And Dan and I agreed these weren't our favorite. And what ended up happening here was actually kind of funny, and Brandon can talk about it again next week, is that what you end up getting with these, I had the 6089 in my hand in his shop, and I tried it on, and that was the hat I wanted. So we put through the order, and the distributor sent us these. And unfortunately, Brandon got through stitching like 50 of them before we caught on that they were a different hat. And one of the things you'll notice on this is it is a lower profile hat, right? It is a lower profile compared to what Dan is wearing. You can see it right there side by side on his head. And it's a 5-panel hat. There's no stitch down the front. So you see how they take that one panel and they pinch it and they curve it and they sew it in. I personally am not a huge fan of that because I don't like it creates. And I'll show you what I mean. Dan will do it too.
And it's not bad. Let me
be
super crystal clear.
Like to be perfectly honest, like if I bought one of these off of a shelf somewhere at like a brewery or something else, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's a pretty sweet hat, and I'd be totally cool with it. But when compared, the 100% cotton, lower profile 5-panel compared to the one Dan was wearing, the 6-panel stitch down the front, 80-20 acrylic wool blend, there's like no contest. No, I throw this hat on. If you go into the photos of that hat on the site, there's a picture of our friend Bailey wearing it. It actually looks really good on him. So what we did is we went down. There we go. So he by no means has a small head, but I think from here up is shorter on his head than mine. So it sits a little lower. And so it looks pretty good on him. I don't like the way it looks on me a whole lot. And what we decided to do is, and we'll talk about this with Brandon next week from Nocturnal, is he said, okay, I mean, they're stitched, right? The distributor's helping, he went out and actually, Brandon pulled some heroics. He drove to the supplier yesterday to stitch these new hats after we discovered the problem on Friday. So discovered the problem Friday. Monday, he's driving out to grab the right hats by hand and then stitching them all day yesterday and today, dropping them off today at 3 for shipping. So, we're talking like, it's like an episode of South Park, like 3 days to air kind of situation here. It's, but what we did was we said, okay, let's not just get rid of them. Let's just discount them and throw them on the site, because some people that have smaller heads might actually like these.
Right.
And so, if that might be more your style.
Yep. And I want to point out just two differences here, just so you guys are fully aware of what you're purchasing. And again, it is on a discount. So here is the major differences that I see between the two different models. The one that is the multi-blend, the one that we prefer here. When you have that stitching down the middle, it allows it to wrap to the side more to contour to your head, but it also keeps these corners down up here, which I think is really important. And when you have this one, what it does is, as Nick said, it's in there and then it's twisted. They have to like bend it to get in. These stick out right here, and then this goes a little bit wider. And it definitely is a shorter profile, but the face of the hat, I believe, is actually longer right here because of the bend is up here on this one. And on the other one, the bend is much more like smooth back. So yeah, it's not a bad hat whatsoever. It's not just about a fit, and it's just going to be about what fits your head. If you don't know hats, you will likely have never noticed in a million years.
No. We're just hat freaks.
I was just gonna say, Nick and I are hat people, so we notice those little things. And Nick called me. He's like, "You're the only one I can come to that might know what I'm talking about with a difference of a stitch down the middle or not." Most people are gonna just say, "Dude, just pick one, right?"
Yeah, and just pick a damn hat.
Exactly. And so we think that these fit really, really well for us, but other people will prefer these. So exactly, G Squared, I talked to Nick before the stream. I'm like, hey, let's just share the story, exactly how it happened. Let's just talk about why it's discounted, talk about the process for it, and just lay it all out there. There's nothing to hide, you know?
No. And so if you really look at it, right, like if someone's like, okay, can you give me a place marker in this video where I can find the difference about the hats really quick? There's 4 of them and I don't know. So there's 2 truckers, there's 2 flat straight rims. There's the 6089, the more expensive one. That's the regular price. It's going to be a higher profile hat. It's going to fit a larger head better, and it's going to go down on anybody closer to the ears. And it's going to have a more structured look, I think. The all cotton one, the 6007, that one's going to be a lower profile, much better for small heads. If you got a small head, you don't want to try to be using one of these 6089s. The thing's going to be poking your ears down on the side. So again, I put that on the site for a reason, and I put down how it fits, right? One's a high profile, one's a mid profile, et cetera, right? So you can make your own decisions, but that's kind of what it is. And the truckers are no different. There's a Yupong and a Richardson trucker hat, and the Richardson is more high profile. That's the one I'm wearing here today. Much deeper, goes down closer to your sunglasses, closer over to the ears, with a little bit of a curve to the bill. I am a Richardson 112 guy through and through. If I had to have one hat for the rest of my life, it would be this one. That's just in Corey. He's got a bigger head than me, and you can see that thing fits him to a T. It looks fantastic. And in the other one, you look at Pat, he was wearing the Yupong trucker hat, which fit him really, really well. So I think those might actually both stay. I don't know if I'm going to transition to just having the Richardson up there, or if I am going to have a mix of both. But I will say with the trucker hats, it is a definite that the Yupong is better for a small, medium head. The Richardson is better for a medium to large to extra large head.
Perfect.
So really just giving you guys options. And then if one sells out like crazy and we have to go back and restock it, that's probably going to be the one we stay with and keep going because it seems to be the most popular. But you can see there on him, again, he doesn't have a bunch of skin over his ears at all. Where if I put on that same hat right here, look how shallow this thing is on me.
Yep.
I mean, it's not too bad.
Yep.
I think some people are just going to like Richardson and some people are going to like Yupong. So I kind of just wanted to expose them both and just put them both up there for what they are.
For sure. And I have Richardson hats. I've sold Richardson hats before. The trucker ones, I like them. I just like this, the flat brim so much more. Like it just contours to my head perfectly.
Dude, you know what the funny thing is too, is I say that still on the stream. Like if I had to have one hat, it'd be this one, but I'm wearing that one more and more now. And when I put it on, you almost get like this,
yeah.
Like literally it is like you put it, like there's no adjusting, there's no, fiddling with it. It's just, you go like, it just fits. Like I just love it. And I actually like it better than my new Era 950, I think, which is saying something because I'm a new Era guy. And I think I'm getting converted here to the Yupongs. I'm liking them.
No, it's the cool dad hat too. Like it's not a dad hat. It's like you're the cool dad when you wear these. Like literally.
It's something about the green bill underneath too. I didn't think I'd like it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like the green underneath.
Yep. And Paul, the hats that we have is from a different brand, but it is, if not this exact same supplier, it's a replica of it. It would be this one right here. It's the Yupong, not the cotton sail one,
It's
but
the
the flat brim.
6089.
There you go. Yep. So it's, yeah, so awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Anything else anybody should know about the different hats? We haven't done the beanie yet, but about the different hats, anything to stand out or point out?
I think that covers it for the hats. I mean, it really is, right? I mean, we have, the big fit, the basically a high profile and a low profile for the straight rims and the truckers. And if you forget all of this because it's a lot, I don't expect you to remember all of it like I've been forcing myself to do. Oh, that's another good point. But yeah, high, low profile, different fits. And what he's showing you there is really cool. So Nocturnal can talk about this next week. It's flat stitched around for the filigree for the border, but then the skull in the middle, they use more thread and they pile the thread up as they run through it. So there's nothing underneath there, but it sticks out about a 1/4 inch. Like it's a nice little contour you get on that bad boy. So it sticks out. It's got some really cool texture to it. And it looks really nice. It's not like a patch where it's going to be sitting on there. It literally looks like it's like coming out of the hat. It's really cool the way they did that.
That's so awesome. So awesome. And then the last one that I think we have to specifically break down and talk about, I don't know if you have one available, Nick, but the beanie, what are the deets here on the beanies?
I left them downstairs, but everyone saw them on me last week. There's these the beanies are great. It's simple, just straight logo on the front. They're all made out of recycled polyester. So it's all sustainable material, although it's an artificial material. It's all made out of recycled stuff. So it's sustainable, recycled poly. And what's neat about that is, I need to get rid of where it says, apparently one of my templates didn't move over right. I'm talking about hoodies on the beanie site here. I'll fix that after the stream. So no, it's not a 70-30 cotton blend, but it is super soft. It is 100% recycled polyester. But the cool thing about these is what I've noticed is like if I wear polyester normally, I get kind of sweaty. But with recycled polyester, I've actually been okay. I've worn this thing now with like 0 issue, and I don't get any irritation on my scalp or my head wearing it on a bald head. It actually feels really good. And I look through some of my shirts and it's like the ones that bug me are regular polyester. And if I look at the shirts that don't bug me, they're all recycled polyester. So I don't know what happens in that recycling process of polyester, but something happens that makes them much more comfortable to wear. And this is right in there. It's soft, it's stretchy. And what's cool about this one is it is stretchy enough where you can actually fit it over a hat. So if you have a hat on, like I do sometimes, if I go out, if I go out somewhere near the water, I'll throw a beanie on over my hat just so I still have my brim, but I have just a little added warmth. And those fit really, really well over the straight rims and the trucker hats.
Awesome. So, guys, that is the apparel. That is the merch. It is out. It is live. Merch is here to stay. You don't have to worry. You don't have to be the first 20 people to grab them. They're going to be here. We want you guys to be able to rock this proudly. And I will say this very, very clearly and loudly. This is not a money play for Dr. Nick's. This is something where it was like, Nick literally crunched the numbers to be like, how do we not just lose a ton of money here? How do we get this out to people to represent us, to start conversations, right? Let's be real. You wear this to a bar, you wear this out to your kid's sporting event. People are going to say, what hat is that? That is freaking cool. And then you're like, oh, it's actually my favorite beard company. It's Dr. Nick's Amazing Man stuff. And that's good, right? That's good for the company. That's good for the community. Complete transparency there. That's not a money play, but it's a branding. It's an awareness.
It is.
And want you guys to wear stuff that you're proud of. And again, I cannot express to you about people think we're when you wear good much more than just a t-shirt. I want to say that again. When you wear good fitting clothes, it's so much more than a t-shirt. It changes the way you feel, which changes the way that you think. Those things are directly related. When you get dressed in the morning, whether you know it or not, that ability to look in the mirror and say, oh, goodness, like I look good. that changes the trajectory of your entire day. If
Oh,
you
hell
put
yeah.
something on that you don't feel comfortable with and you're like, I don't feel great there, that also changes your confidence. That changes your approach. This shirt, these things are top quality, and it literally makes me feel good. Like I text Nick right away. It makes me feel good. So
Yeah,
just
that's literally the
understand,
text I got.
yeah. So just understand that this isn't something that's like, let's throw out Teespring and make a bunch of money and make it easy. This has been an extremely involved process by all parties just to make sure all of these things are covered. So it's the best product for you guys, so you can rep this company in the best way possible.
And you're supporting more small businesses, right? You're talking about a
Yes.
2-man team right down the road printing this stuff. This isn't like a giant print shop with 10,000 square feet under roof and a bunch of people running presses. Like the owner of the shop that does the designs, that picks up the phone, is the guy running the ink over shirts in between answering phone calls and emails to keep his business going. So it's you're supporting multiple small businesses here. But no, to Dan's point, I had actually no plans of really doing merch except for maybe for trade shows and stuff. You guys, you asked for it repeatedly every week. Where's the hats? Where's the shirts? Where's the hoodies? So literally, just like everything else we do with Sense, you guys asked for this, and we weren't going to compromise the way we do things in order to do it quickly.
Yep.
So for that, we apologize or not, right? But there's this was an overwhelming request from our community that people wanted this stuff. And so what my hope is that, yes, I'm happy with it. Dan's happy with it. Jill's happy with it. But our overall goal is that you're happy with it, right? You guys, this is the Christmas list that I'm sitting there crossing stuff off of is the stuff that you guys send us emails and ask for. So I hope we did right by you guys like we always try to do. And I think we did. And I think if the labor involved in getting it ready is any testament to not taking the easy way out, I mean, that's it. I think we did it right, and I think we got you what you want.
Oh yeah, and if you guys, this is a perfect time. We got about 8. We have 8 minutes left. That's ridiculous. But if you guys have questions about the merch, please drop those questions now. I'll field them to Nick. But there were so many other things that were involved in this process, from having meetings online with the designers and breaking down the system and saying, hey, can we turn the skulls? Hey, can we do this? What do you think about this? Hey, Dan, do you think that it should be raised? Do you think it should be lower? Like there's video calls. There's Nick going in person to see the first hat getting stitched and taking pictures. There's Nick in person seeing the screen printing process. And a lot of this is documented on the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff Instagram page. So if you guys want to go check that out, we had a reel that went a little bit viral, which was kind of cool. It hit like 18.7 thousand views in one day, which was fantastic. And this is all about, again, the process. You're not going to have a reel go viral where we're typing online, Teespring, extra large. Let's make sure we have that. Nobody wants to see that. This is small business. This is actually handcrafted. And again, go check out the reel if you don't believe. And there's a new one today of the hats. So dang cool. So dang cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's such a cool process to watch these guys do it too. Like I had an idea, just from watching on TV and things like that, how screen printing worked, but getting to watch what he's doing and ask some questions was killer. It was such a neat process. I mean, it really is like, you think of everything we do here is handmade. And I always tend to think that I can't say something's handmade unless it's my or Jill's hands that make it.
Right.
But this is one of those processes that kind of opens us up to that. Just like when we went down the road with, God's shower products, all these things, like we work with handmade things. And just like with this merch, this is handmade stuff. Like the base things come in, the tags get ripped off by Brandon or Sawyer down at Nocturnal, and they go to town with bottles of ink that they hand squeeze onto these trays, and they swipe them across the shirts, and they're a 2-man team, kind of one's putting them in the thing that kind of cures the ink, and the other one's pulling them out, folding them. So I mean, although it's not happening in our 4 walls, these are very still much handmade things.
Yep. Absolutely. And I love this, Garrett and Melissa going back and forth. And Melissa says, good job, babe. We need to plan a good reel. Melissa, I have a strong inkling you already have a plan. And I got to hang out with Garrett on Saturday, and we talked content a lot. And he was like, yeah, this is like all Melissa driving the content. She has like a whole list of ideas. We get ready to film. She's like, nope, you're doing this. Stand here. And then Jill commented on the reel from last week where where Garrett was getting
Where
Dr. Nick's,
she tackled
yeah,
him.
getting beard mail. She tackles him. It was like immaculate form. I told him that. He's like, yeah, I had to like teach her, like put the shoulder here. We did a couple takes. I was like, who filmed it? He's like, I just set it on the edge of my truck and just filmed it. And like, it was the coolest tackle I'd ever seen.
Dude, it was really good. Like,
it was really good.
It was
like,
really good. She's gonna be getting like recruitment phone calls now.
I tagged the Detroit Lions in it. No joke.
Just in case.
Yep.
There's scouts everywhere.
Sign her.
That's it. Like, it's like cheerleader can happen, but if anything goes down, she can throw those pads on too. But dude, it's oh man, yeah. No, those reels are cracking me up, man. And
I love it.
Again, just Garrett and everyone else that sends us in this content, like, I don't know what we've done to deserve your attention in this way. Like, we don't ask you guys for anything, and you give us these amazing gifts of this content and the things you guys are creating out there. It's incredible. I mean, it's so cool, and we use it like crazy, and we love it. And I show it to people, I send it to people, and it's more than we could ever ask for, man. And again, I just don't know how the stars align to get us a community of people that feel like supporting us like this and creating us content and sending in photos and doing this kind of stuff. But it is just so beyond words appreciated. Like, it's huge. It's never crazy. Have even dreamed to ask for it. And the fact that you're just going out of your way to do it for us just blows me away.
Yep. And I text Nick all day. I'm like, Nick, check out this reel. Nick, oh my gosh, check this one out and stuff. It's so cool. I love that. Jason says, Dr. Nick's first round draft pick is in. Dan commands. I'll take it. First round pick, and merch looks amazing.
Nice.
It's true. It is absolutely true. As we get ready to wrap this up here, next week, you guys, Nocturnal Inc., the company that is creating these beautiful works of art just down the road. They're going to be in Nick's studio, sitting next to him, and we're going to go over this process. You guys can learn about the process. If anybody's out there interested in getting into that type of business, you're going to learn a whole heck of a lot. And I think it's just going to be a lot about the entrepreneurial spirit, about taking a chance, about betting on yourself, about doing it the right way, the small way, and just great conversation. I've never met them, but I've had video calls with what sounds like really good people behind that company.
Dude, super good people. It's just, I feel like there's a few of us in this little area, and I've seen them. Like, there's the machine shop next door. There's these guys. There's a mix where I do feel like, I don't know what it is in this area of New England, of Massachusetts. I feel like the old way of American manufacturing is alive here. Like, there's a place that still makes their own transmissions. There's a place that makes like diesel turbos, and they're all like 4 or 5 man shops who don't scale super huge, but they support their families and the families of their employees. And they're doing it like the old school way, where they're sourcing things from multiple places. They're putting things together to create a product, and it's interesting to see. So getting to hear from one of these guys next week, that's right down the road, is going to be great. I'll be transparent. The first probably 5-10 minutes of that stream is me just going to be apologizing to Brandon for being such a pain in the ass. He keeps reassuring me that I am not a pain in the ass yet. And I'm like, listen, Brandon, everyone I work with that's worked with me for more than a year calls me a pain in the ass at least once a week. Like, feel free. You're on the list. You can do it whenever you want. And he's like, no, dude, I'm telling you, if there's like a 1 to 100 scale of being a pain in the ass, you're still like, you're like way down on that list under a 5 somewhere. And I'm like, oh boy, we're not past the flattery stage yet.
Right. So. Right. And as a final story in our last minute here, tell them about the cell phone story with him.
Oh God! Oh yeah!
I think this is the perfect way to end it.
Oh, it's so good. We'll wrap it up, and this will just lead right into Brandon next week. So, like, I realized the hats are messed up on Friday, right? And they're the wrong model, not something he messed up, but the distributor. And so I'm texting him, and he's like, "Oh no, what's the model number?" I'm like, "I don't know. Yupong doesn't put model numbers in the hats. I got to go find photos." So I did, and I start sending him back, and then I'm like sending an example, like, "Okay, here's the one we got. Here's the one we want. Here's the other one that could work. Okay, look, I found him. We can get him from here, finding option." And he stops replying. And so I'm like, uh-oh, I have like 4 texts now and no replies back. I think I finally did it.
He did
and
it.
So I'm like, I'm sure at this point I must be a pain in the ass. And then so the day goes by and I do the thing where you send like a short one to see if maybe you get a quick reply. And then I'm like, okay, screw it. Well, I got other stuff to tell him, so I'm just going to type it. So I did, him with another text. And then I get one back that's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I got water in the charging port of my phone and it's been off for the past 2 days and I haven't been able to reply to you. And I was like, I'm not glad you almost killed your phone, but I am so glad that's the reason you weren't texting me back.
Hilarious.
I thought for sure I had finally crossed over.
Yeah. He's like, nope, no more of this guy.
He's like, this guy with his hats.
So everybody, thank you for hanging out with the quickest hour of the day. We will be back 1 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday of next week with a really special show. Check out that merchandise. Check out the Instagram. If you guys have questions, Nick, what is an email they can reach you or Jill at?
Customer service at drnix.com.
There you go. And then the Instagram is also very active. Feel free to reach out on Instagram as well. And I appreciate you guys being here. Please consider rocking this merch. You're going to feel good for yourself, not only supporting a company, not only looking cool, but man, it is just such good quality. I just feel like you can even see here how it's like contouring to my like body. Like that's crazy. Like I'm not like jacked or anything, but it's like, it makes me feel like I am. So,
people be screenshotting.
Oh yeah. Easy guys. All right, guys, that's enough from me. Nick, go ahead and take them away.
Oh man, guys, just long time coming. Thank you for your patience. Again, we're doing this because you asked for it. It's here. I'm sorry it took so long, but sorry, not sorry, because I think it was well worth the wait, and I hope it's exactly what you guys wanted. As always, let us know. Keep us honest. Tell if it is. Tell if it isn't. Something needs to go higher, lower, on or off the site. Whatever it needs to be, just get back to us. Let us know. But hey, the day is finally here. Thank you for making it happen, and thank you for lighting the fire under my ass that it took to get it done. So with that, we will meet the creators next week, and thanks again for another awesome